we're all human beings, and we experience the world, and we also experience things that seem beyond the world as we see it. And trying to understand how those two things meet, I think, is important for a lot of us. One goes out and sees a beautiful vista and has some experience, not just of what, of the light bouncing off our eyeballs, but have some experience of something greater. At least I do, many of us do. And it would be, that experience demands almost for us to make sense of it.
We see nature's complexity, whether in the cosmos or in the natural world around us. And that helps us to reflect, it helps us to contemplate. There is a connection between our relationship with nature and the human spirituality. So I believe that we can learn better about God, we can connect more with God if we reflect and connect with nature itself.
I would say that nature, from my perspective as a person of faith, is sacred. And by that, at its most basic level, I mean that it's special and deserving of a particular kind of attention. When I think of nature, though, I don't have in mind just the great outdoors, leaves and trees and and animals and so forth. I think that nature is that interrelated web of resources, persons, and things into which all human beings and all life are embedded. So, in a sense, everything is sacred and everything is fundamentally special and deserving of our care and our attention.
I think the sanctity of nature is an important concept because as a scientist, I don't often get to think of it in those terms. I think of nature as something that we study and enjoy studying. I'm an astronomer, so I love to study stars, planets, galaxies, things like that. But we typically study it as something you can analyze. This concept of a sanctity of nature implies that you incorporate both the scientific knowledge, but also an appreciation for where we fit into this whole picture of the earth, and that there's a value that's beyond just utilitarian value of the planet, of nature.
We need to recognize that there's more than just the human-built environment. There's the natural environment, and we have a lot to learn from it. We have a lot to gain from it. We can appreciate a whole bunch from it. And that's something that is really important for our survival, both in reality and metaphysically and psychologically and probably spiritually.
Thinking about the sanctity of nature is not some airy-fairy, nice little theological concept, but it's actually something that faces everybody every day of their lives. How are we going to treat the world around us? How are we going to sense we are a part of that world around us? And how are we going to live our lives in a sustainable way that's actually going to prevent the planet from dying?
Somehow, whether you're a believer or not, there is a holiness, a respectfulness that we have to have for our world and for everything in it. And of course, part of the problem is with pain and suffering and destruction, that task will be made a little better if we have a respect, because then we have a healing process or a process of trying to redeem what has gone wrong. So I see it very much as trying to bring into my mind and into other people's mind the importance of where we are, the importance of where we live, that this is something very special.